Yo, what's up? So today we're going to talk about RuneScape, and you might not hear a lot about RuneScape, which is kind of a good thing actually, because as one of the big five MMOs, the fact that you don't hear anything about it usually means that there's no bad press about it. That's kind of the most common form of news, is talking about the bad things in games. Rarely do good, wholesome news stories actually make it to the front page. So when you're not hearing about a company or you're not hearing about a game, it usually means that it's running well. And many people have their problems with modern RuneScape. That's why old school RuneScape is a thing. But those issues that would normally be kind of reported on or very toxic within the community are answered with old school RuneScape, which people can just play and then they get a say in which things get implemented. So it's been a very, very good strategy for Jagex in the past. Now, Jagex being the company that makes and produces RuneScape. However, a lot of you, if you're in the MMO sphere, probably have heard the news that an HD version of the game released on RuneLite was set to go live a couple days ago. But unfortunately, Jagex ended up shutting that down, which was an incredible sore spot for not only the community, but obviously the developer who put a ton of time into making this mod that was supposed to make the game look more like modern RuneScape, but keep all the same stuff that people loved about old school RuneScape. Now, if you're unaware, RuneLite is an open source third party tool that offers a lot more flexibility and options than the normal client for old school RuneScape. The normal client produced by Jagex is horrible or is underdeveloped to say the least. So a lot of people in their free time have made these mods to help improve the game for a lot of people. And one of those people who does those mods decided they were going to make an HD version of the game and then release that. So just to catch you up to speed, I'm going to share some stuff about what Jagex said and then what the developer said. And there's actually some really nice up-hearted news that came out recently that I think will make everyone, not just the community, but people who just know about the story in general, very, very happy, to say the least. So, starting off, basically, you got a post from the mod saying, yesterday, September 6th, 2021, RuneLite HD would have been released. The code had been reviewed and bugs had been fixed. It was ready to go. You would have been playing with it right now. Yet, at the 11th hour, Jagex contacted me asking me to take it down in light of the reveal that they had similarly themed graphical improvement project that is relatively early in exploration stages. I offered a compromise of removing my project from RuneLite once they are ready to release theirs, in addition to allowing them collaborative control over this visual direction of my project. They declined outright. So it appears that this is the end, approximately 2,000 hours of work over 2 years, a huge outpouring of support from all of you. I could never have imagined the overwhelming positive response I have had with this project. I am beyond disappointed and frustrated with Jagex, and I'm very sorry that, after this long journey, I'm not able to share the project with you. Now, to share a quote from Jagex in response, they said, in this blog, we'd like to clarify our stance on third-party HD clients and other projects which seeks to radically change the visual appearance of the game. We know you've got lots of questions about them, and we think this will provide you with all the clarity we need. Yesterday, we contacted the developers of known HD projects and we asked them to stop development of their project, because this is a project we are directly investigating at Jagex. We look forward to being able to share progress as our own in-house project with Old School's visual unfolds. Now, people were obviously mad. They could have had an HD version now, but you're telling them that you wanted to do your own version, and that's why we don't have this now when there could have been a free version. We could have had this free version until you released your version or whatever. This could have already been in the game. We could have already been seeing this, and we could have already been using this. And people reached out to a well-known developer on Old School RuneScape, Mod Ash, on Twitter, and he basically confirmed that this came from way up, not anything that he had control over, not anything anyone on the development team had control over, someone far above them who just told them that this is how it is. I can't do this exact situation justice in the same way that Josh Strife Hayes has. So if you want to go look at his original video on this whole issue, I encourage you to go watch that because I think it's an excellent video and I think he talks about a lot about important things within the game and in the community that I am not privy to. But there is a very, very positive update that I want to share with everyone, and I think is really, really important, that was shared on the subreddit by the other developer who had made this HD mod. He says, discussions with Jagex have been fruitful, and we have reached an agreement that I am personally very happy with. To cut to the chase, HD mode for RuneLite will be released on Monday, September 13th for free for everyone. I will be collaborating with Jagex on the direction of the project going forward so that it remains consistent with their vision for the game. This is not a compromise. It is something I had dreamed of while working on this project. Thank you to every single one of you for your expressions of dissatisfaction and support, and for making these past few days so positively surreal. Thank you to Jagex for listening to the outcries and embracing the will of the community. Now, I want to say, I'm very happy for this developer. There would be nothing more frustrating than working on and developing something in your free time with no payment at all for 2,000 hours just to have it stripped away and never to see the light of day. There's nothing that could be worse. And I also want to say, on behalf of Jagex, they were able to turn something that was one of the worst disasters for the company, I think, ever, aside from before they released Old School RuneScape. The game was in a horrible position. Now it's doing great. So aside from that situation, this situation here it was horrible. Like, people were pissed, okay? That's putting it mildly. Think about the outrage we had for World of Warcraft's developers not listening. It was like that, but probably more extreme because we've been desensitized to it in the World of Warcraft community. Now, they actually listened to their community, which is what Blizzard is doing now, which is fantastic. We need more developers to listen to the community like this. I love it that companies are actually starting to listen to the community and do what's right. I mean, Jagex has done that in the past. Obviously, with the release of Old School RuneScape, this is nothing that's necessarily new to them. This is something that they've done before. So I'm glad to see that they're continuing with form, listening to the community, and allowing this to be released. And this developer's correct. This is not a compromise. They're allowing him to just release this. It's fantastic. It's really great news for not just this developer, but the whole community as a whole. And of course, don't put any hate towards the developers of Old School RuneScape. Obviously, they had nothing to do with it. They had no say in how this happened. It was all upper management and executives who made this decision, and we don't really know who that was. So you have no one that really to place your hate towards other than the company as a whole, and now they fixed it. So we can rejoice in the fact that they ended up making the right decision, and very quickly, because this was supposed to happen, 4 days ago, and they changed their decision within less than a week. Fantastic. That is an amazing response time from a company, and I think it's amazing. I think that this company has showed that you do not have to ignore your player base. You don't have to pretend like you're always right. They've shown that with Old School RuneScape, and now they've shown it with this. They have kind of set the standard for how you react with your community, and I think a lot of other companies need to start following suit. So if you're an Old School RuneScape player, go try out the HD version this Monday. I play Old School RuneScape a little bit. I'm not that into it, to be honest, but I'm going to definitely try out this HD mode just to see what's up, just to give it a try and look at it. And I hope that you guys are all satisfied with this response. I hope that none of you are still mad at Jagex, because it took a lot of social pressure to get this change fixed. And I'm glad that the community was as outspoken as it was until it was resolved. So that's the whole situation. An incredibly awesome final resolution to a horrible situation. And in the end, everybody's happy except for maybe the upper management people, but it's okay because they're rich anyway. So anyway, that's all for the video today. It's a short one, but I think it's a sweet one. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel, and leave a comment below what you thought about this whole situation, if you had heard about it at all, or if you're surprised with Jagex's response and how they handle this in general. But that's all for the video. Thanks again for watching. Peace.